Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the Bishop to King 4 event and event objectives, in which the Bishop and High Paladin are added to the game and Famine has been nerfed. But let's go into all of that. Bishop not going to be used as much, though it is the we do get +5 glory whenever we use it within a PvP team this week. As you can see, we also get the White Helm and Divine bonuses, meaning there are quite a few good options from White Helm this week, as well as just Divines in general. But what does he do? He gives an ally armor and +1 magic, and then doubles that effect if they are Divine, so it would give double that amount of armor and 2 magic. The armor is based on his magic, though it is not a 1-to-1 ratio, which would be very nice if it was. But the fact that it isn't makes things such as additional magic on him, including the magic off his trait, not as effective. His traits are pretty average, and overall, I don't really foresee him being used much other than just to farm a bunch of extra 5 glories. This week, there are many troops that can do a higher base armor a little bit more consistently than him, as well as the fact that he has no loop ability on his cast, as well as the fact that 2 magic really isn't that much either. So don't really foresee much of a future for him. He's also a Divine Human, not too many human combos at the moment either, though of course there are the yellow-purple trait stones if you end up needing that for any of your troops. And we have over here the High Paladin, red-blues, definitely going to want that for your Crimson Bat. And as far as this, he's kind of like a Paladin that hits 2 troops, essentially. He deals damage to the strongest 2 enemies, and that is boosted by his armor at a 2-to-1 boost ratio. Kind of like almost like a, in a way, kind of like a Knight Coronet in a way. Kind of like a combination between half Knight Coronet, half Paladin combined together. But yeah, that can be definitely very effective if you can get some armor buffing it on it, or just to throw with a Paladin in general. They both have mana colors that if you use both of them on a team, they will have 0 mana conflict with each other, which works out really nice. They're also both a Divine Knight. Guard's avatar is also a Divine Knight. Unfortunately, it is not currently possible to do 4 Divine Knights. From White Helm, there's currently only 3 available. You'll be able to go 4 Divines or 4 Knights, but you won't be able to go 4 of both Divine and Knight within a single team. There's also some new traits here. He gives all allied Divines and Knights +2 armor. There's in the files a +2 armor for all types now. I don't know exactly how they're going to be able to utilize all that unless they add more armor boost ratios, which they may. But we just got the Divine and Knight one now, so he'll be giving himself 4 additional armor, assuming you have both those traits. He would also give Paladin 4 additional armor, since as I mentioned earlier, Paladin is the Divine Knight, and of course you can also use this for Guard's Avatar if you happen to have one, as Guard's Avatar is also a Divine Knight. And as I mentioned, with kind of like how he's a little bit like Knight Coronet, he does have that 40% skull reduction as well, though given that he does boost based on his armor, you most likely won't really be utilizing that. Maybe a 2nd slot on him instead of a 3rd slot. Normally with something like Paladin, you slot in 3rd. This would be something that you would slot more towards 2nd. You would never really slot this in 1st, as of course he needs his armor, and you do not want him to take any damage on the armor. So one really big thing that I should mention, which did end up changing, and I did mention it earlier, but Famine did get nerfed. But wait, why didn't they change? That's weird. It said on the change thing that he got nerfed to a 22 mana cost. It could be that my game didn't update, but yeah, he does have a 22 mana cost now, even though that says 20. And that has been changed. You can see here the refund is even available for it. But yeah, he has been nerfed. That's the only thing that I got changed, is now he has a 22 mana cost. That's just probably because I didn't bother updating the little thing before we started this. But yeah, he is indeed a 22 mana cost now. This will definitely affect his use within Guild Wars and just using him in general. 22 is a pretty big change compared to 20, though overall compared to what Famine originally was, this is he's still really very good value, even with a 22 mana cost. When he first was released, he had a 24 mana cost, a 1-to-1 boost ratio on his ability for mana drained and only a 2 stat reduction. So compared to now, with him having just a 22 mana cost instead of his 20, it's still relatively good value. And he's still going to be able to spam. It just takes a little bit longer to get him rolling. And now, of course, the event objectives kind of already went over most of these, but we got to kill a bunch of divines in PvP, just some standard rewards, get a bunch of gems. Lady Sapphira used to be the best troop in the game, currently is one of the worst. Considering how many good troops there are that uses brown yellow, she's like the worst thing you could possibly ever trait. Of course, mine is traded simply because I have everything. But yeah, you'd mainly just do it 40 gems, most likely going to maybe 90. And I don't really think you might see too many divines, but then again, since they have 50% bonus this week, then they probably will. As I said earlier, Bishop does gain 5 extra glory this week whenever you use him within a team. You can either just slot him in last slots of any of your triple threat teams, or I am going to show at least one of them here. We're actually going to be showing 3 teams after this. And of course, 25% bonus to all divines and white helms. So let's actually get into those 3 teams. So with the bonuses to divines and white helm this week, one thing that you may be needing if you happen to have, and you can actually get the red-blue trait stones as I mentioned earlier from the High Paladin this week. But Crimson Bat is going to be a really good divine counter. It has Divine Slayer on its ability. Not only that, but it also has the Blood Sucking ability. So combined together, it will be able to do 4 times skull damage to divines, assuming that they have HP damage. One other thing to mention before I get into all the teams is that the Priest class, if you do end up slotting your hero on a team, does have a 25% bonus this week if you end up setting it as the priest. So let me just go get the princess back in there, and let's get into this. We're going to be doing a guard's avatar rush team, which normally is not possible, but he does have 50% bonus this week, which is absolutely huge. So we're going to throw this down right here. Oh, that dragon soul better not revive when I'm trying to show this. But it worked out pretty well earlier. All we have to do is, of course, with any of these kind of Princess Elspeth teams, use Princess Elspeth immediately and hope we get an extra turn. And good, we did land the extra turn, though we did not land enough mana, so we'll just get that. We'll throw this down on a color we need. Looks like yellow would be sufficient, so we'll throw that down. Get that good amount of mana there. We have a Guard's Avatar to cast. We have that up again. We'll just move some blues. We'll take a skull, sure, why not? And I guess we'll throw a Guard's Avatar here, why not? So we'll do that, and not a team wipe. One more buff would have been, so we'll go throw that other buff right here. Do it on, how about reds, just in case? So we'll do it on reds. Could do it on skulls as well, but we'll just do it right there. Get our mana back up. Nice spore to do it off of again. Throw it back down. Another turn again, though we do not have enough for him to kill. Oh, come on, 1 mana. There we go, 1 mana. And just don't revive, and yeah, there we go. So Guard's Avatar, pretty huge this week. As you can see right there, 230 armor. You don't even need any traits on him either to make him absolutely absurd, because you're just going to be able to feed it with the mana. You'll need traits on other things, like on maybe your Honor or maybe your Princess Elspeth, of course, to get it off quick. But yeah, you don't actually need any traits on him. Everything else kind of just runs it for you. Oh gosh, someone already switched to Guard's Avatar. But let me go and switch over to this other one now. Archon Statue, High Paladin, Paladin, and Bishop. This is for anyone who might not have anything too good of the higher values to use. I think we'll try using it on this one and just do this, see how this goes real quick. And yeah, this is more of a budget-related team. It is mainly based around, of course, the Paladin, High Paladin combo. You could always put a mana generator or something of the such with it. One thing to note, though, is that you can just go directly for the Paladin's yellow mana and just take all the buffs that you're getting from your troops and then just target out with that. Paladin has really high damage in this combo. Right now, if we were to do this, our Paladin is doing 114 damage. Of course, yours will probably be doing quite a bit less than that, but relative to whatever you're facing at your level, he will still have very, very good value. And oh yeah, we just killed them both in one shot. The reason for this is we actually have Undead Slayer on this. It is still to this day the only troop with stone skin that has a Slayer, and it's Undead Slayer, so it works out pretty nice. I didn't even try doing that against this team, so we were able to get those one shots pretty easy. And the fact that his stats are actually a little bit lower. This team might have been slightly too easy, actually. But we'll just go take that over, get our green, But come on, let's get at least one of the paladins off. Gosh. But pretty self-explanatory what both of them do. We'll just move that down and get our reds. Could have taken the red extra turn off the top there, but we'll throw our high. Oh no, he's not even gonna let us do a high paladin. He's just gonna drain our mana right now. Come on, get Skull distracted or something. Come on, come on. Nope. We'll have to take red or blue or something. Yep. There goes our mana. We'll go take some of our own mana. Come on. Oh, there's Archon statue. Well, there's Paladin finally. And of course this hits 2 enemies, though it does only hit the 1. If there's only 1, it hits the 2 strongest. It unfortunately is not like a Knight Coronet where it will hit the same thing twice. We could take a Skull there too, but I'm going to ignore that. It's just going to hit the 1 once, and there we go. Off the boost ratio of the 2 to 1, that's enough to hit and do the kill. And of course that would have hit 2 if there were actually 2 still alive, though it does not hit the same one twice. Because it just hits the 2 highest, and if there's only 1, it just hits it once. So let's go into the final battle here against still the Famine Def combo. And technically that Famine isn't nerfed because for some reason mine is showing as 20. But here is just one really similar to the first one, except with a Bishop in it. The reason for this, of course, is for the +5 glory. I may be using this a little bit more, see if we can get the 5 glory farm. Otherwise, I might just stick with this one, as it might be a little bit more consistent. But we'll throw this down. Same premise pretty much as the first one that we did, just slightly different, as we will be having a Mercy option instead of a Princess Elspeth option. And we unfortunately do not have a cast to do off the starting board, so we are going to get quite a bit of a slower start. He does have a Crimson Bat first slot. That is going to be really annoying this week if you are using Divine related teams. Of course, as I mentioned, he is going to be really good counter to Divines this week, more so than he has ever been. But we'll just throw a Skull right there. He's already dead. Well, that's one threat down. This is going quite a bit slower than the first one, mainly because we are lacking all possible alignments right about now. Not really anything we can take that's going to be helping us much. I guess I'll take that yellow. Once we get the honor up, we should be good to go, though he already has a Famine. No wonder why you got nerfed. Well, we have nothing we can do here. So much so, I might as well just throw the Mercy. That'll make him do even less damage to us. So we'll let him do his thing, drain his little bit of mana. Good, he did not go for the Guard's Avatar. Very beneficial for us. But, yeah, this does leave us at a little bit of a standstill. Oh, I just keep it brown. But we'll just let it get distracted off the Skull, at least, if nothing else. And it didn't get too much mana from it. And it does give us a blue into a Skull distract. I'm not even going to bother taking that. Just go straight for the browns. We need to get this honor working already. Actually, let me take the reds. And we do get the brown off the Cascade. He does get some green out of it. But, oh no, and he gets a 5 times brown. He did take it the right way. So there's Black Manacles. As long as that doesn't devour, should be fine. We'll go get some, nope, we can't get some yellows, can't get some browns. So, yeah, let's leave the Skull Distract there. Get a Mercy up. Don't believe we'll have alignment, but, oh, wait, yeah, we actually will. Never mind, as long as he doesn't ruin it there. So, let's see, we'll move that down, and we will let him take his Skull, of course. And now we can finally get a Mercy, and a pretty nice one at that. Of course, one nice thing about Guard's Avatar 2 is that he burns all undeads and silences all daemons. And if they're both undead and daemon, it will do both to the single one. So, are you actually set as a daemon? No, it's set as the Death Knight class, not using any class on it, or not any troop type, I mean. But we'll throw that down mainly for the silence right there, and we get a burn, though that burn isn't really going to make much of a difference. We'll now just start getting the mana back up again, and of course it gets to Devour. Luckily, it devoured the the least effective troop on our team. We mainly just have the Mercy there for the single cast, and then we go from there. But we'll just get our mana back up. Of course, the Bishop isn't really here to do much. At most, he will cast once at our Guard's Avatar. But he's mainly just here for the extra 5 glory. Personally, I feel like I will be sticking with the previous one, though, as for 5 glory, this does seem quite a bit more handicapped compared to just going for the very quick Princess Elspeth related team. So we'll just take that. I guess we take Skull. He hits pretty hard on it. That, or I can just distract him. But actually, I might just go distract route. Start rebuilding our mana. Go from there. So we'll take this brown. Oh, never mind. He could take so much red. Though he doesn't actually use it, but still. I'm going to take it. Sure. So he's going to get a huge amount of reds. Luckily, he doesn't use it, but he does get a purple out of it. Watch. If he devours Guard's avatar right now, it's going to happen. 220% in a row. Nope. Okay. That's fine. Perfectly fine. Don't do that. We'll go and throw this at red. Come on. It's our Guard's avatar mana. Well, we got brown. That's not really going to help much here. So got to focus down those reds. He gives us some free reds. That'll be fine. And can we get a little bit more damage? Come on. Get us a little bit more. He'll take the skull right there. He'll get some yellow out of it, which he doesn't use. Never mind. He didn't take it that way. Fine. We'll take it then. If you're just going to give it to us like that, I'll gladly take it. And that is definitely match right there. And he'll death mark all of us, but he's already dead. And yeah, that is how all the events are this week. As far as things that are useful, Paladin, of course, High Paladin, Guard's avatar is insane. Once again, 2 weeks in a row, Forest Guardian does have 25%. And I might as well go over all the divines real quick. We kind of went over most of them there, but divine. But yeah, Archon statue if you need a good stone skin. Bishop's mainly just for the +5 glory, not really good otherwise. You may want to use in dragon teams this week Celestasia as a tank if you happen to have it. Crimson Bat, of course, is an a really good anti-divine. The other anti-divine, if you happen to not have that, is Shadow Blade. But you'd probably want to stick with Crimson Bat if you happen to have it traded. Of course, Forest Guardian will still be used on all the Cabarrus teams. Guard's avatar is going to be ridiculous this week. If you have it, build literally every team you have this week around it. Grand Inquisitor, I didn't bother showing. Earlier on in the game, if you happen to have him, I believe he's epic, right? Yeah, so he's a little bit harder to get, but still relatively easy. And he's kind of okay, at least earlier on, because he gets a pretty big boost ratio. He'll get 20 additional damage. That can definitely be pretty useful. And he gains barrier on his cast. So he's kind of okay. Not really the best out there, but he does have 50%. But yeah, High Paladin you want to stick with. Jotunarch's weaker side. Ketras still weaker. Mercy, very high bonus. This won't really come and play that much. You don't normally use Mercy for her stats. You mainly just use Mercy if she's empowered for her convert, and you'll go from there. Morthani's Will you may use within Guild Wars for Drain. Paladin, of course, insanely high damage this week for single target, so probably one-shot everything. Ferrous Rod does have a slight bonus and easier soul farming this week because of it. Priestess you may use as an armor buffer. She has the highest buff, I believe, of any of the armor buffers. Sacred Guardian would be really amazing in Arena. I almost feel like doing an Arena run and try to get a Sacred Guardian because it is one of the safer picks that you can take within Arena. Shadowblade, as I mentioned, anti-divine. Stargazer you won't really be using. Stonehammer, possibly. I still prefer Grigoltha, even if it has 25%, but maybe within Guild Wars because it has warded. Devoted, I kind of hate. Valkyrie, of course, you'll just use with any soul farming team, and that just leaves Valor, and Valor is kind of pointless. So yeah, as far as good options, Guard's avatar, High Paladin, Paladin, maybe a Mercy, maybe a Ferrous Ra, and maybe our Archon statue. And other than that, it's basically just the normal teams as usual. But anyways, that will wrap it up for everything with this event. If you guys have any other questions about it, any other questions about the game, or anything in general, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful week. See you all later. Goodbye.